Hello and welcome to Home Inspector M.D with another video. You know, you may be interested in looking at an older home to move into, but many only look at the cosmetics of a house, looking at the yellow walls or flower wallpaper, thinking about an open look main floor, wanting a new modern kitchen, home theater, or game room. But when looking at an older home, don't forget to look at some yellow flags in these types of homes because they could end up costing you more than you bargained for. Of course, these yellow flags could end up being red flags. In older homes, anything electrical that has not been upgraded is a potential issue. This includes the electrical panel, the wiring, the receptacles, and the light switches. When it comes to electrical, just make a mental note of the type of electrical panel there is in the house. Is it glass fuses or breakers? There are just more inherited problems with glass fuses than breakers. Now, to be clear, I am not saying that glass fuses don't work. Glass fuses work perfectly fine. It's the old enclosure that's the problem. Due to the age, most likely you will have a damaged or rusted enclosure. Also, after decades of replacing the fuses too tightly or not tight enough, the connection between the fuse and the bus bar can be compromised. This can become a fire hazard as a bad connection can result in dangerous arcing. Not to mention, insurance companies want to see circuit breakers in a house these days. You may also want to ask the seller what the amperage of the main service electrical panel is. Older houses usually had 100 amp or less service. If you plan to renovate and expand, that could be too low, and you may need to upgrade to a 200 amp main panel. The other yellow flag on electrical that you can easily see are receptacles. Are they older two-prong receptacles with no ground? No ground means they do not provide the needed protection against many potential electrical shocks. If so, are they present in some or all of the rooms? If all, then it's a major renovation in upgrading all the receptacles and running ground wires to all of them. If some, it's a simple solution to replace them with a GFCI receptacle to get at least some ground protection. Our final point on electrical are knob and tube wiring in very old homes. Now, you may or may not be able to see this. Knob and tube wiring is a two-wire system with no ground protection. This is something that a licensed electrician would need to investigate to check its condition and decide if it needs replacing. In the basement, this next yellow flag has the potential to affect not just the house, but can have harmful health effects on people. When walking through a house, and especially in the basement, look for visible signs of mold on the walls. They should be easy to spot, as there will be a noticeable discoloration on the wall. Look near the bottom of the walls and corners as soon as you walk down the stairs to the basement and get a musty smell or feel the high moisture in air. That should tell you to look for signs of mold. Mold breaks down materials, such as wood, so they are a threat to the structure of the home. Mold also carries potential health effects by being exposed to them. This is especially true for people who have allergies. Signs of mold can also be an indicator of water penetration and cracks in the foundation wall, but you will not be able to see this in finished basements. This yellow flag can easily turn into a red flag. Still in the basement, do you see a sump pump installed on the floor? This can be a yellow flag for water issues in the basement. You may want to ask, why is there a sump pump in the basement? Now, to be fair, some jurisdictions simply require a house to have a sump pump in the first place. Or there could be other legit reasons that there is a sump pump. Today, we all should know by now the dangers of asbestos in the home. Breathing in large amounts of asbestos fibers can increase the risk of lung cancer. In older homes, building products and insulation materials used asbestos in their production. older homes may still have asbestos in the home. So finding asbestos is a yellow flag. Although not always clearly visible in the house, when looking in an unfinished basement, you may see asbestos in the form of insulation, sometimes found in hot water or steam pipes. Other products most commonly found to contain asbestos in older homes was old vinyl flooring. Of course, do not touch or disturb asbestos at all because you don't want the fibers to enter the air so people can breathe in the dangerous fibers. Unfortunately, many times you cannot simply confirm if a material is asbestos by looking at it. Better yet, if you see something suspicious, ask the seller and have a professional look at it with the possibility of mitigation out of the house by professional contractors. Any yellow flag concerning structure is something to be taken seriously. It's also something a structural engineer would need to look at in order to have a proper evaluation. But there are some obvious things you can look for by just walking through a house. Just opening and closing internal and external doors can provide an idea. Is the door frame distorted, making it hard to open and close doors? Is it more than one door? If they are, it might be an indicator of a bigger structural problem. Next, I know people are always looking for beautiful hardwood flooring, but don't just look at the type of flooring you are walking on. Feel it. When walking on the floor, do you feel any slope to the floor? Does it feel level? Home inspectors often bring a large marble with them because it gives a very visible indicator of uneven floors. When you see that marble just move to the other side of the room by itself. On the outside of the house, look at the wall, both the foundation wall and the siding, such as brick or stucco. Do you see large cracks in the wall? Now, small cracks are common, but do you see large cracks that are also dimensional? Is the crack not just opening apart, but is it moving forward or back? This type of crack is more serious because it shows movement in multiple directions. This next yellow flag observation of the roof does not require the person to go on the roof. When walking around the outside of the house, take a quick look at the eaves and lower part of the roof. During the winter, can you see icicles hanging off the gutters? Or do you see electrical heating cables installed on the roof? Or do you see physical damage on the gutters that may have been caused by objects such as a shovel used to remove icicles? Now, why is this a yellow flag? Well, these are indicators of an ice dam. Living with months of snow, Canada has a perfect environment for ice dams to occur on the roof. You see, when it snows, it accumulates on the roof of the house. Near the upper part of the roof, the snow then melts and then runs down to near the edge of the roof. And that's where water builds up and then refreezes. So at the edge of the roof, you're going to see a buildup of ice and snow and also icicles hanging off the gutters. This can result in water penetration through the roof. This all happens because of insufficient insulation and ventilation in the attic space. Of course, this is a big indicator of that home wasting a lot of heat and therefore money. After decades in Canada's harsh weathers, many old decks need replacing. Many were built incorrectly or substandard. Here, we're not trying to be home inspectors. We're just trying to discuss a few obvious yellow flags. Besides the obvious observations about the deck floor, handrail, and guardrail sturdiness, one of the most incorrectly done parts of a deck is the connection of the deck ledger board and the house. But this is sometimes difficult to see, and we don't expect you to take a close inspection of it. We just want you to make aware of the potential connection problems with this part of the deck. A more visible yellow flag is tall decks on the second floor that are supported by two or more posts. A poorly built deck creates a major safety issue, so small posts or poor footings could make the deck collapse. If it looks unsafe, I would avoid getting on these decks. Also, if you see a cantilever deck in an old home, these types of decks, after many decades, can grow weak, So with the greater potential of collapse, it would be a major safety hazard. This last yellow flag we will talk about requires a very simple observation when going around the exterior of an old house. Just look at the grading of the house and the position of the downspouts. Look around to see if the grading of the house is sloping away from the house, so rainwater does not flow towards the foundation walls. Next, look at the downspouts around the house and see if they discharge next to the side of the house. They should have an extension around 6 feet long away from the foundation walls. An alternative that can be used is a splash guard, but those usually only go a few feet. Not moving water away from the foundation walls will result in saturated soil next to the foundation walls, which can lead to hydrostatic pressure of the soil on the walls. This may create enough pressure on the foundation walls to bend the wall in and create horizontal cracks. In an unfinished basement, if you see horizontal cracks and bulging of the wall inward, that is considered a major issue that needs fixing. Most water problems in an old house are from excess water next to the house. We hope these yellow flags help you understand older homes better. And as a reminder, these yellow flag suggestions do not replace a standard home inspection. It's not even close. These yellow flags are meant to provide an initial caution flag when you visit a home and serve as a reminder to not just focus on the cosmetic features of an old house. Finally, even with these yellow flags, don't always jump to conclusions. Thank you for watching our video on what yellow flags to look for in older homes. If you like this video, subscribe and give a thumbs up. And think about us in your next home inspection. Hey, if you're interested in more videos on a similar topic or other useful info for the first-time home buyer, keep on watching with these videos.